Part 2 of 15th of September 2024, because my evil cesspit iPhone storage blipped us off, and I've deleted videos, and I deleted all the photos I took, and there were hundreds at the exhibition, and it's still giving me hell. So I really hate this situation. But anyway, on we go. Video 2, intrepidly strutting Mummity's stuff, as she does. Because completion, I must reach completion. Yes, I must. So I was showing you the side view of that ring I had made. And just kind of proud of my new learning, learning new skills, but also kind of disappointed because I could see all the flaws and I was ripping it all to shreds. And well, anyway, so here I write, because this is the time of year when Rosh Hashanah falls, but it falls on various different dates according to the lunar calendar. So it's not Rosh Hashanah this year until the 2nd of October, but back in what year were we in? I'm all discombobulated from being blipped off now. Yeah, 1 year ago it fell on, obviously. It fell on the 15th. Lashana Tova Tekatevu. May we merit a happy, blessed, prosperous, healthy, loving year. Amen to that, sister. What she said, sister. Oh, you have to laugh. Safe from all worries and stress and ancestral traumas. Surrounded by light, love and truth. I have had a very nice 12 months, I must say. So, had a lot of worries and stress for last few months, but oh well, this too shall pass. 15th of September 2021. Reading through these memories, I am struck by sadness as my beautiful cats, Penny, Sophie, and recently on the 9th of July, Socks, have all passed on. Only Beauregard, whom we lost on the 1st of August last year, and Charlie and 3 goldfish still with me. Now just Charlie and 1 goldfish. It's getting very fucking torturous, people. So much loss, so much grief. Anyway, I also made contact with my former love interest last month. I said his name, but most of you who know me know who that is. But I'm not going to repeat his name. It's not important. It's just a shade from the past, a shit stain and a horror. Took me years to get over too. The love remains like a burnt out, stomped out flicker of an ember of a flicked off, chewed on cigarette, but pretty much that's how it went. He is not really interested, and I have been wasting my time holding on to hope again. C'est la vie, the life of the Tanya, always played, unrequited and decimated. But up she rises. Someone out there will love me one day, someone worthy of a woman like me, someone that appreciates a woman like me and cherishes a woman like me. Could happen, happens for others, so I'm not going to give up on that dream, just say. I'm just going to calm my fucking farm and live my best life as I do every weekend by going dancing and see who lights up for me one day. Not like a burnt out cigarette or a cold empty cruelty, but someone who genuinely, absolutely, totally adores me. And not just an entire club full of people that see my wild dance, but my own special someone who I can have as a lover and a partner. Yes, let's fine-tune that manifestation just a little bit. Oh, it's delightful when you think about it. Life is pretty amazing, all in all. I have lots of someones, but they're all, friends in the club that are unavailable because they're all married or in partnerships. Some are gay, and some have girlfriends, but they all seem to enjoy my participation and my wildness and my carefree, freedom fighting nature, and they tolerate me, and I'm so grateful for you all. I am almost special someone's, but I am actually wanting my own man, my own someone. Oh dear, never mind. I've been wanting that, for 30 years, so one day it could come, someone wonderful could come along. Maybe if I ever get enough money to travel to the sacred spaces, I'll meet someone there, but the likelihood of that happening is very, very small, so I guess I'm destined to stay alone for the rest of my life and just laugh in the face of my own fate. What else can you do? Like the Viking Vulva at the edge of the forest, muttering away to herself with her incantations and her cats. Well, I'm fresh out of cats, but I guess I could get another cat or a dog one day. But at the moment, it's just me and Charlie, isn't it, Charlie? She says, yes, Mama T. I've been quelling my grief by working hard on making jewellery from upcycled sterling silver cutlery, making wooden beads last week, and yesterday cutting up and shaping pieces of china and an abalone shell. That took all day. Gosh, I was tired afterwards. I did not get very much to show for it, but a few nice pieces. I need to learn how to make the china pieces into jewellery. I need copper tape and silver solder, which I did get, but it didn't work out. Oh, but oh dear goddess, I am fairly useless at soldering, laughing my ass off. Well, I've improved on that. But it's a different technique. It's called, it's to do with lead lighting. There's a name for it. It'll come to me. Tiffany. It's a Tiffany technique where you solder, on the edge of the piece of china on top of the tape. And for some reason, mine kept peeling off. So I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe it was poor quality tape. Maybe it's just me being stupid, or maybe 1,000 maybes. I guess I can keep cutting nice pieces though, and they might come in useful one fine day for mosaics. I had intense, vivid dreams about my psychiatrist early this morning, which is unusual. I don't usually dream of him. Very rarely. I see him every 2 weeks, but I don't dream of him. But anyway, here we go. This is a dream, Brian, if you watch my videos. Don't take it personally. It's just my subconscious. I wrote, he was dressed up in drag and announced to me that we were going dancing. He'd be fun to go dancing with, but that would be inappropriate because of our therapeutic alliance. But he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with, my doctor. He's a very cool person. We were standing in front of a huge full-length mirror, like you might see in ballet classes. And he and I were preening and pouting at our reflections in the mirror. He grabbed me around my waist with such intensity and clutched me to his side and declared that we were going dancing. I just nodded happily. In real life, I do want to go dancing again, and have booked a 5 Rhythms dance space, but we are waiting for New South Wales to come out of lockdown as the person who runs it lives down there. Patience is a virtue. Plus, if I really need to let my hair down, I can put on music at home and dance triumphantly and joyously for free. But I felt the need to dance in a group again. So there is that. My creativity is burgeoning in all directions like a 1,000-petaled lotus, but I must find my locus and my niche and a safe space for me to express myself without the poisonous barbs of others. I just ended a friendship with my neighbour down the road, and we're actually still friends. I forgave him, and it's kind of astonishing that I forgave him because it was pretty awful things he said to me, but I realised he has mental health issues, and he's not actually a bad person. Just every now and then the seeping kind of darkness comes out of him, and anyway, it was a great shock and I was distraught at the time, but I forgave. Yeah, hard to explain that one, but we're still friends. Who's this parked in front of my house? No one I know. It must be for someone down the road. Where are they going? Now they're reversing up. Oh, it's someone delivering. It's a delivery person, I think. Oh, well, not my monkey, not my circus. I'm distracted. Anyway, I just ended a friendship with my neighbour down the road, which I was distressed about. A few days after his nasty, sadistic comments about child abuse. Then he fought me about my spirituality. Never do that, people. Never do that. I've been studying the occult and spirituality and metaphysics and the paranormal. In fact, not just studying it, but lived it since very early infancy. So I don't have any credentials, but I'm kind of, I wouldn't say an expert in the field, but I'm very, very knowledgeable. I've forgotten more than most people. No, in fact, I have forgotten a lot. Sometimes I have to go over things and think, why did I forget that? That's important. But my brain sometimes lets things go. But if you start fighting me about my spirituality, babies, out it comes. Back to the front of my frontal lobe, and by the gods, you're gonna invite a whole level of trouble to yourself. Don't ever piss off a bona fide Jewish witch, by the way. Anyway, I wrote ugly soul. He's not actually an ugly soul. He's just ignorant of spirituality because he's been a scientific materialist or rationalist materialist all his life, and you don't know what you don't know, am I right? If you choose not to believe in things because you're too afraid to confront it head on, that too is a safety mechanism for a lot of people. So I had to kind of recalibrate and acknowledge that perhaps he found me confronting because of my knowledge base, and not realising that my knowledge is just as valuable as any other kind of knowledge. So anyway, I wrote at that point in time, because I was pretty fucking upset with him, I would disengage from that monstrosity. Not that he personally is a monstrosity, but the monstrosity of his ignorance and button pushing in that time frame. But he's actually a lovely man. We've moved past that, which says a lot about me as much as it says about him. that he recognised that he might have gone a little bit too far that day. But he used to love to stir me up. One day he turned to my friend Jared. He says, I've been winding her up and pushing her buttons and trying to get her to love me. This was in the short period that he was separated from his partner, which I told him, don't even go there with me because you're going back to your partner, and I know that. So don't drag me into your nightmare. I'm not going to be the rebound woman, just get used. Just looked at me in shock. Men are stupid sometimes. They don't realise that we women know exactly what's going on. We don't want to be used and abused while you sort out your issues, and then you half the time you go off with some other woman that leave you and sitting in your own squalid shit because you didn't realise you were about to be used yet again. Or equally painfully, they sort their shit out and they go back to their wives and partners, and you're still left trying to work out what happened to you. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that dance. But anyway, he does love me, my former neighbour. He does love me. He's one of the people on this earth that does genuinely love me. But I think it's because we built up a trauma bond and we fought so fucking much. Even his partner said to me, she says, I'll tell him things and he doesn't listen to me. And then he'll ask you, or you'll say the exact same thing, and he listens and obeys you. I said, of course he does. She said, why is that? I said, he's not invested in me emotionally the way he is with you. Having someone else say the same thing, exactly the same thing, is confronting, and he has to take action then because he's realised that is a truism. No one can present a truism like the Tanya. Can hit you like a fucking brick shithouse sometimes. So anyway, she said, but it's so funny, Tanya. I said, well, he's scared of me because we fight. I said, the fights we have had, you've seen them. And she laughed. She said, yes, I have. Anyway, look, here I write. I will miss his little dog and his 91-year-old mother, who lived to 94 when she finally got murdered by negligence in the old people's home on the 2nd of April. I'm still livid about that. Who I had grown quite close to in the last 9 months. Perhaps that is why he sabotaged me to isolate her, but nothing I can do about that. I will not engage with toxic, dangerous, sadistic people. Life is too short and too precious. So that's how I felt about him at that time. And we got through it. We remained friends. And as I say, that's a bit astonishing since my opinion of him was he was toxic, dangerous and sadistic. But I realise I have a very, very hairline trigger, especially on the subject of child sexual abuse, because I'm a survivor and I've lived it. And people who are ignorant and don't understand how it affects someone for the rest of their life really fucking upset me because, well, it just shows their lack of respect or genuine care for children. And I don't usually consider those people very safe to be around children when they have such poor attitudes. But then I have to kind of get over it because a lot of them who have those attitudes have never had children of their own, so they don't know what it feels like to be torn between protecting your child or staying silent in the face of what you fear is going to be some seedy fucking setup. And it's like literally like a game of Solomon's baby. It's really like that. It's why when I had a partner at one time, I said to him, if you touch my children, I will be sitting in jail, I will murder you. I had to say that to lovers when my children were very small and young after I left my marriage, because frankly, knowing what I know, what I was put through in my childhood, didn't trust any man with my children. I didn't even trust their own father, quite frankly. There was always, after the separation, the most agonising, torturous thing was having to let my children go to him for access visits every alternate weekend because I didn't trust him. He didn't sexually abuse them, but he neglected them emotionally in many ways, sat them in front of a TV and just ignored them. They might as well have been at home with me if they were going to sit around watching TV. I would have taken them to Byron Bay, which I did do, or I would have taken them on little outings around Brisbane, or I would have done things. I did things with my children. He got access visits with his own kids and just tuned them out completely as if they weren't there. The motherfucker. Well, anyway, I'm grateful that, to my knowledge, he didn't sexually abuse them, no. That is the absolute worst thing a man can do to his own babies. The absolute worst. You can heal from being beaten and thrown into walls, which used to happen to me too. But the sexual abuse, very, very fucking damaging. It destroys your trust in other humans for the rest of your life. And it makes it very hard for you to love a mortal man ever again, because love for you has been forever distorted and tainted like a cracked fucking mirror. You can put the mirror back together and make a beautiful mosaic out of it, but the cracks remain, and it's not hard when someone pushes my buttons like my friend did that day for the cracks to start to disintegrate and come apart at the seams, and for the ancient traumas and fury to come flying out, But see, some men who are sick and sadistic actually get turned on by that. There's a whole fucking industry, it's called BDSM, fucking thing. They actually get stimulated by watching a woman be tortured and have to conflagrate her rage. So I have no interest in living in that lifestyle at all. I find it perverted and sick and evil, actually. But anyway, as I said here, life is too short and precious. So, but anyway, we remained friends, and we are still friends. And I was there for his mother for as much as I, could be, and I was there for her 2 days before she died. We went to visit her, but she was not able to wake up, so I knew her time was imminent. But they actually killed her with 2 pain patches and then aspirated her, the bastards. But I mean, look, she was on the she was starting to go into decline, so I guess you could say, her time was imminent anyway. They just fucking precipitated it by a few months or years. Anyway, wherever you are, Elsa, I love you. You're a wonderful woman. Update. 15th of September 2021. Dear Goddess, only Charlie, Beauregard and 3 fish left alive now, and me hanging by my fingernails, still dreaming my psychedelic dream of a life well lived and well loved. Ho hum. It may still come, but I'm done living in fantasies. Yes, I am. I'm done living in fantasies, and I'm done being led by the nose too and treated like some little dancing little ballet doll in a music box, put away and pulled out at someone else's whim. I'm done. I won't be treated like that, actually. Very, very done with that too. But the love remains and will remain until the day I die, because I don't give out that kind of love lightly, believe it or not. 15th of September 2020. Here I shared a meme. You're breaking generational curses. That's why things don't come so easy for you. You're who your bloodline has been waiting for. Well, no, because they just declared me dead and went on being arseholes. So there is that. You have to laugh. But anyway, my bloodlines die with me, and that's actually a good thing. I'm okay with it. I grieve over it because I wanted my own progeny, but I'm okay with it, you know. Bloodlines should only continue amongst people who are kind and supportive and honouring and genuinely loving, who have my back, my front and my back and my side, and the rest can just slough the fuck off. I've lived through enough evil in my lifetime to know not to wallow in that shit, you know. Just let them go. Let them go. They might be for someone else, but they're not for me, including my own, you know, my own daughters. If they can't treat me with decency, then TT. My father used to say TTFN, tata for now, but no, TTFE, tata forever. What have I got to lose? I've already lost. After a while, you can't hurt me any more than you've already hurt me. You can rip off the Band-Aid and start again, which I've done thousands of times. But I'm going to stop investing in Band-Aids and just let it all scab over, babies, and walk away with my head held high, knowing there was nothing I could have done better or differently. Didn't have the resources, didn't have the family support, didn't have real loves, didn't have shit. I could be bitter about it, but I don't even have time to waste on bitterness. I'm just gonna dance my dance and write my stories and be happy, because ultimately real happiness manifested from deep inside you is the best revenge you could ever have in your life. Living your own life with your head held high, and invite good people into your life who genuinely love you. Could happen one day. It is happening. It is happening. But it's also kind of terrifying and a winnowing process for me, because I'm not accustomed to it, and I don't know whether I can trust in any of it. I'm like a wild, wounded animal. Trust is a big thing for me, very big. Anyway, today I sanded back the sticky, tacky varnish on my camphor laurel slab. What a bloody big job. I only just finished it. I ache all over. It has a bald patch, so it looks like I still have to sand more down back to bare wood. This is my, that I'm sitting at now and using, my camphor laurel slab. And here's the real thing. I bought this when I first moved into this house in 2003, which was 5th of May, so I must have bought it a few months after that. And yeah, I didn't know how to attach legs to it, so it still sits on wooden crates. But it works because they act as storage as well, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy. Cooking pumpkin soup with potatoes and celery. I've got a big pumpkin I haven't cooked up yet. I might actually do that later. Have pumpkin soup for dinner. Yum. And on my new stovetop, and roast chicken drumsticks with apricot sauce in the oven. The griller door got really hot, so I opened the door to cool it down, meaning opening it right open instead of just being open a crack. Other than that, everything is cooking up a storm. What are my neighbours up to? Got hot and cold running cars today. It's all a bit odd, isn't it? Oh well. Not my monkey, not my circus. Here I shared a meme from the Esoteric Witch. It is interesting to note that among wolves, I have a powerful wolf totem. You can fuck with the Tanya, but don't ever fuck with my wolf. Just saying. Of course, most mere mortals have no idea, so shh, don't tell them. Anyway, it is interesting to note that among wolves, no matter how sick, no matter how cornered, no matter how alone, afraid, or weakened, the wolf will continue. She will lope even with a broken leg. She will go near others seeking the protection of the pack. She will strenuously outweight, outwit, outrun, and outlast whatever is bedeviling her. She will put her all into taking breath after breath. She will drag herself, if necessary, from place to place till she finds a good place, a healing place, a place for thriving. Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who wrote Women Who Runs with the Wolves. Dr. Clarissa Pinkola Estes. I read her book as my marriage underwent its final death throes. I was 29. Her book literally saved my life. Literally saved me. Inspired me to gain my freedom, to start a new life at least, to strive, to never, ever, ever give up. Wolves are my totem, which is cultural appropriation, I should say, my spirit animal. But in the Native American Ojibwa language, they would be referred to as a totem. Anyway, you feel my vibe, don't you, babies? But I'm conscious that as a white woman that I've acquired a few cultural appropriated terms, and it upsets, authentic native-born people, and I don't wish to offend anyone. But, I do have a wolf with me, whether it's a Viking Norse wolf or a Native American wolf or a wolf from some other country in the world. I have no ken, but it's mine and it's powerful, and even my Ojibwa Meduan friend recognised its power. He sent me his wolf and he got to meet mine, and he said he was quite astonished. He didn't realise that I had such a powerful totem with me. Said, well, you should have warned me before you decided to invade my bedroom at night, because in America it was daytime. He did not realise the time difference, that it was my sleeping time. Anyway, wonderful man who was very heart-centered and very kind and was trying to work on my spirit back in 2013 so that I could attract a wonderful man to be my loving partner, and unfortunately that magic has not yet manifested 11 years later, so it is what it is. But his medicine man, he went to his medicine man for advice. He realised how powerful I am, which I took as a great honour, by the way. And his medicine man came back with a message that I need to be tamed. Tamed. Said, no, I will not allow any mortal man to tame me. To tame me is to break my spirit, to break my magic, to break my love of freedom, to break everything that I've worked so hard to pull me together and build me as an adult woman from the childhood I had. So they kind of understood, but they said, you know, we just want you settled, Tanya, and calm and at peace. And yes, I want that too. I want to be settled with a wonderful man who doesn't push my buttons and doesn't trigger me and isn't sadistic or cruel and doesn't get stimulated by fighting me at every turn. And it's just a nice, kind, loving, cherishing, nurturing, not in a mollycoddling, oppressive way, but just a wonderful man. There's someone out there for me. There is. There has to be, because it was prophesied 30 years ago. But there's someone out there for me. But anyway, in time, you know, that person will reveal his true heartfelt intentions to me. And or I may not have met him yet, so I may meet him and then he'll reveal his true heartfelt intentions. But the odd thing is, all those things take time and patience, and I'm a bit impatient. I'm a bit keen and a bit eager because I've had a lifetime of loneliness and aloneness and isolation and abandonment and rejection. So I get a bit OTT with it at times, you know. I accept that. I've been a bit naughty. But anyway, I'm human and I'm a real woman, even though I have wolf totems, wolf spirit guides, and I have many other spirit guides and spirit people and gods in my survival kit on planet Earth. I am a real woman with real passion and vitality and zest for life, and I scare the average. I scare the average man. I do. I scare the bejesus out of them. But anyway, it's okay. As Clarissa wrote, she will drag herself, if necessary, from place to place till she finds a good place, a healing place, a place for thriving. I don't think Brisbane is my place. I haven't been able to thrive here in 36 fucking years. It's time to move on, people of Earth. But you see, always there's a but with me. Not enough money to move on safely and take myself to a place where I can be truly embraced and included and welcomed and safe. Fuck. It's so frustrating for me. You have no idea. It's like being slashed by razor blades. But on we go and on we go. The wolf remains, and the wolf comforts me and says, hold on, Tanya. Not long now. You'll find your home. 11:11 p.m. A message from my angels. Shine bright like a diamond. Be kind, be fair, but take no crap. 15th of September 2019, 3:11 a.m. Oh my goddess, some mad cow, but deliciously awesome, went dancing again. Catherine, Karen and Richie and I had a blast. Richie's another man I mentioned from America. He could be sadistic and toxic, pointing the bone at me that I reeked of cancer and sweet scent of death and that I was going to die, and then I nearly died a few weeks after he said that to me, and yet I forgave him. So I must ask myself why I keep people around my energy that I find sadistic and yet I forgive. Well, I guess I'm used to that from my childhood, but, I keep myself fairly distant from people who are cruel now. It's not wise to be cruel to me and expect to get away with it, because I do keep score. I do keep the score, babies, not just mentally but energetically as well. Don't fuck with the Tanya unless you want to be fucked with right back. But anyway, true loves, real loves, deep loves have no interest in hurting others, just saying. Wouldn't enter their mind. They're too busy loving you. I can't feel my feet. I must say, after my bad week of depression, I have surfaced from the subterranean depths like Persephone. The moon is mine. Awoo! Meow. Time to sleep. I had a lovely day today. Grateful and happy that I am rejuvenating after a fairly scary time. Home from a wonderful afternoon at the West End Drumming Circle. I had a beautiful time. I did indeed. I had some lovely times there. A lovely way to finish off one of the loveliest weekends, which started on Thursday, I experienced in a long time. The loving kindness and affirmations are also much appreciated. Grateful, happy woman here. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Yes, I might get off here after this video and go and make that soup. I just received news that my friend's sister passed away this morning. May her dear soul find love and peace in the eternally loving arms of the Ein Sof, or may her beloved family be comforted in the sad time of transition. Amen. A few years ago, I created an affirmation. It's the same affirmation I cleave to like glue, babies. Oh, but anyway, it went like this. Dear Holy One, Creator, Great Spirit, all that is, was, ever shall be, let me be able to afford my own home in Byron Bay, overlooking the sea. Let me live with my life partner, my equal, and a man who adores me as much as I adore him. Let this man fit in with and or accept my tiny family, which is sewn together in a unique tapestry of my life from dear stalwart friends who are more family to me than any of my original family members. Let him fit in well with my daughters, if Jasmine ever returns to me, and if Crystal remains relatively close to me in her heart. Well, now we don't have to worry about that since both are gone from my life, but he just needs to fit in well with me and Charlie and my one remaining goldfish, and my friend Jared. Oh, wow, there's a Freudian slip because that friendship's lapsed too now. Jesus. Well, he'll just have to fit in with me and my friend Lynn and her family because they remain stalwart friends. And anyway, we carry on reading. I can't calibrate the pain right now. It's too much. Just I have to take a moment. Let me be surrounded by like-minded, kind, supportive, nurturing community or tribe of friends, associates, etc., who are life-enhancing and devoid of competition, envy, or spite. That part, that one paragraph there has come true. Thank you, Brooklyn Standard. Well, some components of that manifestation are still missing. The wealth generation that could afford me a safe, loving, stable home by the sea. You would need millions to be able to afford to live what I'm trying to manifest there at Byron Bay. Millions. So I know that's a ridiculously tall order. But still, have your dreams, people. They keep you going. They inspire you. They bring delight sometimes. I know it may never actualise because I accept with deep grief, but also a sense of realism, my inability to thrive financially at this late stage. What is that man doing? Up and down like a horse draws today. My goodness. Anyway. I had hoped, rather childishly and whimsically, Miss 5 trapped in Ms. 54, now Ms. 59 and 5 months, babies, that such wealth might come from a lotto win, as I would want the energy of that money to flow to me from a benevolent, loving source, with harm to none, indeed. That's my idea of wealth. Money that you haven't had to suffer like an animal for, like I suffered with the small inheritance from the wool dispute. Or money that you didn't derive through a man who actually hates you and abuses you. Who wants that kind of energy in their life? It's better to be poor. And I've lived with that for 30 odd years too. Well, I've been rich and I've been poor, and rich is better, said Stephanie Powers, and I'm afraid she's kind of right. But I'm not prepared to sell my heart and soul out to align with people who are cruel and sadistic to me for the sake of having a roof over my head or food in my belly or money in my pocket. To me, that's the worst and most debasing form of prostitution. Really is. To lose your autonomy and your safety and your will to live for a regular fuck with some man who despises you. Usually the fucking's not that good, by the way. Well, that was the situation I was in anyway. It really was gross. I had to chew my arm off to get out of that situation. It really was that fucking gross. And I did come close to suicide numerous times because it was that gross and that soul depleting and that ugly and that empty. So that's not what I want for my future. I need a man with heart and soul and courage and nobility and grace and dignity, and with enough money that he can afford to take me on. Jesus, it's not going to happen, let's be real. Hold your line though, Tanya. Hold your line. Be proud of who you are. You've come through a lot. And the right man will see me and love me anyway. Here I write, I suffered enough from the horror of envy and spite when I prospered at 23 via both my parents-in-law's passing. Money became a diseased, lackluster curse, and I still struggled to attain enough to sustain me. But it has always miraculously flowed to me when in desperate need. Yes, it has, many times, by the grace of the gods and my benevolent, generous, wonderful earth angel friends. You know who you are, my darlings. One way or another, but often from the generosity of friends or members of my Jewish community who sustained me in very dark and dangerous times, too many times, to the point where I might occasionally put out on Facebook that I'm struggling and I need certain things, but I never ask directly anymore. It's humiliating to have to ask, to still, at almost 60 years of age, to be so poor that you've got to ask for charity from your benevolent, powerful, wealthy friends who are more than happy to gift me, don't get me wrong. If I ask, they can never give me enough. But I just had to rein it in because I started to feel, this is why I went on the silversmithing journey actually during COVID, because I don't want to be constantly putting my hand out. I need this, I need this. I want to be financially stable, and I want to be financially independent. I want. Hasn't manifested because my jewellery didn't sell, so I couldn't create more and build a proper business, which is why I'm kind of in grief mode at the moment, grieving over that. It's ridiculous in a way, because in the broad scheme of things, I am provided for. I have a pension. It's not the end of the world, but it was the end of a dream of being financially stable and not having to rely on charity and other people's gifts, and that feeling of worthlessness that comes with it, that I haven't been able to make it in this life. I really struggle with that immensely. I push it away most days, but it's underneath like a seeping fucking wound, Sometimes it erupts out in temper tantrums and eruptions of grief, but I have to let the pressure cooker explode and scrape all the shit back in and keep cooking, babies. What can I say? I am utterly, utterly amazed and grateful and humbled to have been gifted with the kindness and emotional and financial support in the past few days. I may not have a lover, although I won't say his name, still makes his weird little forays to the casino to keep a peeled, dreadlocked eyeball on me. So perhaps after 6 years of his weirdness, that is the most committed relationship with a one-time sexual partner, actually it was 2 times, I ever had in my entire life. You have to laugh. I only had sex with that man twice, and yet I had this intense love connection to him that lasted for years. So it's not wise to ignite love in me when you're not serious, by the way. It's not wise, it's not cricket, it's not cool, and it's kind of evil and perverted when you've got no intention of loving me back. He did it to me. He did that to me. He damaged me in that way. That one. Oh well. I may not have a life partner and or husband, personage, but I do have my friends, and I am delighted to have found my own tribe who love me and accept me in all my epic high strangeness and quirkiness, and is so loving and kind and gentle with me. As Lynn told me tonight, it is over 9.5 years since my evil mother died, and 9 is the number of completion. Well, it's 14.5 years now. 14 fucking years. And Mama T's still struggling. I had to go through fiery torment with the will dispute, fend off more evil narcissists in my favourite dance scene, who were variously spiteful and envious of my car, my absurd but stubborn love for that one, and least but not less, even of my personality, attitude and style, my life, my humour and my spirit. So much envy they brought me to the very brink of suicide. Yes, they did, with their constant, pernicious viciousness without end. It was beyond evil. Well, this year I noticed that those particular women, one had been a close friend who last night, rather eerily and weirdly, kept watching me as I chatted with my homeless friend, have all fallen off their perch or slunk away like the stinking, drooling, pathetic hyenas they were. Up against my wolf, am I right? They didn't factor in my protectors, the low-life scum curs that they were and no doubt still are. Because people don't change, people of Earth. Remember that. They never, ever truly change when they're that fucking rotten and evil. Don't be fooled by the pretty face or the persona, like I was, thinking they were nice people. I won't be making that mistake ever again. I'll be looking very carefully into people's actions towards me before I invite them into my life. Most of my enemies from the past few years have just crawled away, leaving only people who enjoy my company, energy, and joy indeed. It was like a great and painful sloughing off of old cracked skin. And yes, I am still and always will be highly sensitive and at times suspicious. But I am less reactive and more resilient, and really, even those perverted spineless souls like Lana have gifted me. I know who I am now. Oh yes, I do. I know very well who I am now. That too was a gift gifted to me by primeval supernatural forces during that fugue state after the suicide attempt. I had quite a bit of downloading gifted to me, which is still not fully calibrated or opened up. Still lots of it still locked away, but after the second near-death in 2019, I realised that things were being opened, abilities within my psyche and soul were being slowly opened and brought to light, and things that I hadn't even been consciously aware of, quite frankly. That's what they gifted me. Post-traumatic growth, motherfuckers. I'm stronger, wiser, more beautiful, and happier. I'm healing my mind, body and spirit, and I am still hopeful of the great miracle of finding a love partner that is authentic, kind, noble, passionate and or romantic, but not in an obsessive, creepy, stalkerish way, by the way. Healthy, passionate romance. Loyal and faithful sometime in the relatively near future. Oh dear goddess, when did I write this? Let's scroll back. Poor Tanya. 2019. 5 years. 5 years, babies. It's enough to give me chills. But what is time in the mind of God, am I right? Human time, 5 years is a long time to wait. But in the mind of God, it's a millisecond. So I must be patient. I must accept and be patient. A truly happy life with a man who truly loves me would be my wealth, health, and peace. As Lynn said, I wished you peace so you can at least attract a man worthy of you. That peace is settling around my shoulders, and love is flying to me in every window of my broken, battered soul. A love light that is pure and yummy and blessed. I'm seeing it with my own cynical, hard-bitten eyes. I want to cry with joy, but I still don't quite trust myself or others quite enough yet. For the first time, I can feel it flowing exponentially to me and through me. Fibonacci spiraling back to me and out into other paradigms. I may never have my house in Byron Bay. It may not even matter. I have my little house here for now. I have my dog, cats, birds, fish. I fought hard to retain my fish family. Let's hope they get to remain with me. Alas, no. I have my garden. I have my soul. I have my breath. Ruach. Ruach. The breath of life. Spiritual breath. The breath of God. Not bad for an asthmatic, obstructive sleep apnea patient who can barely breathe most days. I have my God in all manifestations, and I have me. I have laughter. I have the dance amongst the Sephirot, the galaxies, and my own stolid hobbits' tootsies on this earth. I have life. Amen. V'salah. Thank you for being such true and loyal, loving friends and cousins. Thank you for the joy, the love, the support, the loyalty. We are all blessed and fortunate to have each other. Kisses from the Tanya and Beauregard, Charlie and Penny, Socks, Sophie, and glubbery, watery smooches from the funny, finned ones. Fan. Enough already. Lila Tov. Fan mean fin in French. I was riffing on that because, yeah, my mind goes strange places. The end. Fan. Mama tea. Maybe I should go to France one day. That would be, maybe that's my place. Maybe that's where I'm meant to be, where I'll find true love and happiness. Maybe. How would I afford to live there though? How would I provide for myself? Smallest violin. Diddle-lily, diddle-lily, diddle-lily. La vie en rose. 15th of September 2018. 4:42 a.m. home from dancing. Fergus comes over. They just yelled out, "Come to Spain." Oh, I don't know if I could handle a whole country full of Spaniards. Just saying. Too much passion in one go. Oh, I don't know if you could handle the Tanya. Fergus comes over to visit me. We had a cuddle. Brightened my mood in a delightful way. Sweet guy. My only true loves are four-legged ones. Marvellous. This is my neighbour's little cat. He's a beautiful cat. They've got two black cats, Fergus and Felix. Don't see them anymore. They used to come to visit me fairly regularly. Their mother doesn't like me, so maybe she's told them not to. But cats do what they want, whatever. So there's that. You have to laugh. Anyway, it's funny they used to come to visit me when I had the dog, and the dog used to piss them off, something really, but they were fascinated with stirring him up, I think. Now the dog's dead, I don't see the cats anymore. Ah, that's what I mean about cats doing whatever they want, whatever, and being a bit contrary-wise. Anyway, here's the rest of that photo where you can see him. He's trying to nuzzle at my feet, and I'm standing. You can see my evening skirt right up next to my front gate. He was a delightful little fella. And I wrote, he was attacking my tights from under the gates. Funny guy. But I also, you got to laugh. This is how you know I'm a real ancestral bona fide witch, even though I'm a Jew and a shaman as well. But it's you can tell I'm a real witch when even the neighbourhood black cats make a point of coming to see me and honouring me and stirring me up by pulling on their little claws on my thick tights. It was gorgeous. Here I am. Come home from the dance, but I took a photo of how I went out like. Yes, indeed. Those are the thick. I still wear those. They have lasted well, those tights. 5 years old, I've just realised, because that's from 2019. Well, they're getting a bit worn out now. Time to shout myself some new ones. Tights don't normally last more than a week or two with me. So there is that. Photo taken after coming home from dancing for hours, i.e. the bastards didn't they grind me down or doon, because I did that in a Scottish kind of. The bastards didn't they grind me down. The bastards didn't grind me down, motherfuckers, because I won't let them, because you don't get to destroy the Tanya when all I've done is dance to the music every weekend, enjoying my life. Why would you be that nasty to do that to someone anyway? It's totally unnecessary, uncalled for. I ended 2 friendships yesterday, one online one and another longer term in real life one. I'm done putting up with rude, disrespectful, sabotaging behaviours. Life is too short. I kept dancing all night in spite of the horrible treatment. It's all about the dance, babies. Yes, it is. It's about the music and the dance. It's very healing for me and for others. So I have no intention of ever giving up on dancing until such time as I get too old and too sick or too frail. I'll keep dancing. I've been known to dance in an environment like the Treasury Casino for 12 years where I had so many people hating me every weekend, directing so much hate to me. I'm sure it contributed to some of my, my physical health issues, having to absorb all that hate every fucking weekend. But I did it, and I kept dancing right up until the time my dog died last year and they were savage again. I was like, okay, now I'm done. 12 years. I've done my apprenticeship of pain with you motherfuckers. I'm done now. I'm not going to give you one more moment of my precious energy. And I moved my dance to the Brooklyn Standard, and astonishingly, they welcomed me and included me and even have treated me like a queen. So there you go. I should have moved my dance operations years ago, but I didn't know what I didn't know, that I was going to, be included and made welcome in another space. So had I known, I would have moved there prior. Actually, to be honest, someone tried to get me to move over there in 2022. Sylvia Nemchuzak. But because there was some misunderstanding about not meeting me beforehand and going in together, and there was all sorts of horse shit going on that I couldn't quite understand, and I felt like I was being kind of set up in a way, my intuition kind of on point in a way, but not, I was interpreting it as a negative thing, to be fair. So I, ended my friendship with her, which I probably should not have, because she wanted me to come to the Brooklyn Standard, and her, I think, intentions were actually honourable, but I was getting all the spiritual attacks concurrent with that. That was astonishingly kind of frightening, to be honest. So I didn't know what's going on, and when I don't know what's going on, when in doubt, I do nothing. So I stayed at that fucking casino for another year, and then of my own free will, I went to the Brooklyn Standard to discover how wonderful the people there actually are and how inclusive they are, and they're not bothered by a crazy old Jewish witch shaman doing her mad mosh every weekend. They're not fazed by that at all. In fact, they love me for it. So I'm grateful and I'm happy. And Sylvia Nemchuzak, if you watch my videos, I owe you an apology for not trusting you. But it's my trauma issues, and there were a lot of people back in the day at the casino who were completely not trustworthy. So I hope you forgive me. Straight from Mama T to you, baby girl. Anyway, she wouldn't be watching my videos, but the energy's out there for her, and if I see her again, I'll tell her to her face that I apologise. I didn't ever wish her any harm, I just detached. If I detach, it's, because I don't trust in what's going on or the energy attached to people in my life at that time. And everything has its season and a reason, and sometimes I have to ride through that wave too. Anyway. Now home having a hot bath, thanks to my beautiful cousin for debriefing me this morning. What can I say but humans suck, but glad I have good people in my life who are loyal and caring. Another cull of photos done with Crystal's assistance. Time to burn. It's amazing how many hundreds and hundreds of photos I've burnt over the last 6 years, by the gods. But here's quite a lovely photo. My daughter Crystal holding up a photo of me with her as a little 3-year-old, and Jasmine, I think, was about 18 months old there, something like that. No, she must have been younger. 1, maybe her first birthday. I can't remember now. See all those sentimental photos. I can't even fucking remember how old my kids were in the photos now. Time really does eviscerate and disappear a lot of memories that used to be precious to me are going. But anyway, that young woman with her 2 little babies, stuck in an awful fucking marriage. I didn't even think that marriage was awful at that time. Denial was a long river in Africa. I was completely blissfully ignorant of how fucking awful it was. Took me years of therapy to fucking unpack everything and put everything into its proper perspective and realise, fuck, I don't know how I survived it. But you see, my love for my babies, those 2 little babies there, and that big baby, she doesn't understand. She can't comprehend. It's beneath her consciousness how deep and powerful my love was for my babies, which is why I stayed in that shitty marriage, trying to hold everything together to keep us safe. And we weren't safe because I was constantly betrayed at every day in every way by my husband. Backstabbed me to everyone, including when we migrated here and bought a business to my own staff. I had staff members that would come, new employee. One was a young man named Michael that would come to work, right, on a shift when I was working on my nights, and who would shiver and shake like this. They'd be like, he wasn't the only one, but he was the worst. He'd stand there beside me. I'm trying to pack food up, because it was a fast food restaurant selling rotisserie chicken and hot chips and fried foods, right? He stood here shaking like this, like a wet dog, beside me, shaking like a leaf with nerves. Well, I understand about nerves and anxiety because I have bad nerves and anxiety myself. But he was there to fucking work. And I turned to him, I said to him, "What's going on with you, Michael?" I'm just so scared. I'm just so scared. I said, "There's nothing to be scared of. You get the package down, you put it down, you put the piece of paper in it, you cut up the chicken into quarters or halves or whatever the person's ordered. You put it in the thing, you're frying your chips, you put the chips in, potato, the pumpkin, there's nothing to be scared of. No harm will come to you working with me." Oh, he just shook. He was sweating with absolute... I don't know what my fucking asshole husband said to that young man about me, but he put the fear, absolute abject terror into him. And, to be fair, in those days, my temper could conflagrate could be very scary, especially when I had PMDD. Could be very fucking scary indeed. I acknowledge that. It wasn't easy to be around me when I was activated, right? But I said to him, "You're here to work, and I'm a very nice person." I said, "Don't do wrong by me and you won't get my temper flare-ups." And anyway, we did work together okay for a while, but I eventually got lost. My husband rostered him, not on the nights when I was working, but we did get along okay. I actually ran into that young man one time, of all places, in O'Reilly's down in back at Canungra there. And I was with my children. It was after my separation, and I was looking at all they have the most beautiful king parrots there. "Michael, how are you?" And he was very civil and nice to me and not threatened by me at all. So it was weird, people of Earth. I still don't know what that was about, to be honest. I really don't. But anyway, that's what my ex-husband used to do to me. Have my staff terrified of me too. fucking prick he was. Anyway, life goes on. But those children, those babies and that adult woman have no concept of how hard I fought to keep our little family together. Even when we separated, my husband and my mother both put pressure on me. They wanted me to have, probably so he could get save on child support or some shit, which, by the way, he never paid anyway, the prick. But anyway, they wanted to divide up my two daughters, and they wanted Jasmine to go and live with him and Crystal to go and live with me and divide up my little family. I said, you'll do that over my dead body. I said, it's always an option. They looked at me because they know that I get suicidal ideation. You will not divide up my little family. So how does it, they've already lost both their parents living together, and then you want to separate them from each other too? I said, are you mad? Like, how much trauma are you trying to inflict on my kids? Isn't it enough what you've already put me and my kids through? And it'll be better for them to live with Jasmine to live with her father. You know what? Maybe it was. Maybe it would have been better. I don't know. But I kept us together. I kept us together until they grew up to be 19 and 20, and then I sent them out into the world. There's a story behind that which I won't go into. It was pretty fucking ugly though. That's why Jasmine and I are still estranged to this day. But you know, the treachery and the viciousness, they had to go. They were adult women now. They wanted to be with their boyfriends. They had no respect or genuine care for me. Out into the world they went. They resent me for it to this day, but that's what you do when you treat your mother like a piece of shit. You go out and you build your own life. Jasmine's built herself a very nice life and earns $100,000 a year, and I'm told has a nice man now. So it is what it is. Be happy, live your best life. Don't fuck with your mother, the Tanya, ever, because I don't deserve it. I struggled alone, without resources of money, home, land, property, all robbed of me, and I struggled to get them to adulthood alone. So I don't have time for this piss weak generation. I really don't. Because what I did was actually a very difficult task given the amount of trauma I was enduring at the time. But anyway, happy fucking family portrait. Crystal with our little family portrait. When I had money and a husband and a roof over my head that was technically mine because it was in both our names. But I actually owned nothing. All my clothes were second-hand. Oh, you have to laugh. But all people were envious of me even then as a young mother and a young wife. The envy. It used to seep out of them like oozing green slime. I used to watch it and think, you dumb motherfuckers, you've got no idea how hard my life actually is, even though aesthetically it looked good from the outside looking in. Aesthetics, prosthetics, pathetics, prophetics. Now my life is really, really good, even though it looks like shit, because I made it. I've made it through alone most of the time. Of course, I've had support, as I said earlier, from my beautiful benefactors, but by and large, I did the emotional, mental, spiritual work alone. At Megan, postcard from our pop back in the day. Interesting, Uncle Snow liked smashing up cars like my dickhead father, David. Oh, dear goddess. Let's read the postcard. It's quite comical. Dear David, Gisela and Angela. This was written before I was born, obviously. You can excuse me not saying I would come and help you out. That means Mum was making demands on him to help her out because my mother was a manipulative, narcissistic cunt. She was always making demands on people. My wrist made this very probable that I could not lift anything or use a shovel, though if a circus was visiting the city, I would have tried to ride a donkey or some nice placid animal. That's my grandfather writing this. Sounds a bit, it's our weird Phillips humour. It's very, very odd and unique. In other words, he's telling them, don't be an ass. Read between the lines. It's very quiet in Picton, and it's be hot, which he would have meant bloody hot, for energetic exercise like that. Read again between the lines. I guess I'm like my grandfather. I know how to shove it up your ass right and proper in the nicest possible way. It's like my friend Lynn says, you have the art of telling people to go into hell in such a way that they like it. Anyway, all Morris can do is turn his car over and bust things up. His steering wheel got it most, and the hood was ruined. No fun for his Christmas holes. I caught some nice cod off the wharf in town the other afternoon. Big Blue's been trying to get Boot back. No answer. I have no idea who he's referencing there. Big Blue's been trying to get Boot back. No answer. Some weird obscure code that makes sense probably only to my father. Sick of him. I wonder who Big Blue is then. Or does it say Big Blouse? No, Big Blues. Big Blues been trying to get Boot back. No answer. Sick of him. Pop. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Now, what I find interesting about that is all us grandkids called him Pop, but he signed it Pop in a card to my father. So Dad must have called him Pop too, as in Popeye, or Pop as in, you usually call Pop Granddad, don't you? Well, anyway, my family is so dysfunctional, weird, we'll just go with that. He also signed it Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. He's a very wonderful, loving man, my Pop. Here's his handwriting. So yes, odd. It was taken in Nelson, but I don't have the front photo on that. I didn't post it. Oh no, correction. Yes, I did. I'm a good little archivist. Photo of Nelson in New Zealand, which is a very picturesque, pretty place. My cousin Megan Phillips, absolute treasure cousin, love it, loved our Pop. His letter is very matter of fact, smiley face, love heart. She could see he was writing between the lines too. I wrote, clearly my narcopath mother was trying to manipulate him to do some work for them. She was always exploiting and manipulating people. Fucking asshole. Glad I am not anything like her. Here's a photo of her. Not a very attractive one, but I just saw the funny side of it. The Venus of Willendorf, Tanya's Schadenfreude. Yes, I can be a bitch too. I can. Here we go. Tanya's Schadenfreude. She looks quite young there, but she's not. She's actually in her 60s. She looks good there. Apart from the Venus of Willendorf physique. well, you know, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I mean, I've got the Venus of Willendorf physique. I've also got a skirt on that's like 2 sizes too big for me and falling off me, but I love the colour. I must try and sew it in so it fits me a bit better. And this top is 2 sizes too big for me too. But I wore this outfit yesterday, but anyway, you can see it hides all my curves and my Venus of Willendorf, like the old mama. It's a Gisela. Yeah, that's gross, Charlie. Man, that went everywhere. Oh, yucky. I'll be back. I'm going to have to rinse that cloth. Far out. There is so much shit. Well, you've been a good girl, actually, because that's the only massive one you've done this through this video. What's today? Sunday. I don't get paid till Monday night. I've got a craving for hot chips. That's not good, people of Earth. I'm too fat to crave hot chips all the time. I'll never be gorgeous or healthy. Well, anyway. My friend Jared Nielsen, yes, he still gets to be called my friend after 32 years, even though he fucking doesn't take my calls and I'm really upset, wrote, "Oh my God, get that beast off my screen." And I just laughed because it's true. We're all very triggered by my mother. She was vicious to all of us, quite frankly. Really was. It's probably why he no longer takes my calls. Just done. He's done with it all. I don't blame him. I'm done with it all too. I wish I could not take my own calls. Anyway, it is what it is. 15th of September 2018. We're still in 2018. Listen to me. Your body is not a temple. Temples can be destroyed and desecrated. Yes, they can. Your body is a forest. Thick canopies of maple trees and sweet scented wildflowers sprouting in the underwood. You will grow back over and over, no matter how badly you are devastated. And that is true, babies. Bo Taplin, temples. It's true. You just keep growing back. You just keep growing, constantly growing back. Rip the band-aid off, release some more toxins, and grow over it again. This painting was gifted to me by the artist Teresa Bulassia when I was volunteering at the reception of the Logan Art Gallery, which was back in the year 2000. Many, many moons ago, when I was living under constant threats by an ex-lover and my former family. That's how putrescent and evil they were. I was severely traumatized, but thought by volunteering I would aid my trauma and depression issues. It would aid my trauma and depression issues. It didn't. However, I made some lovely friendships at the art gallery. This was about 1998, before I got the traineeship at QPSA, which was also a journey we went on. It was a disaster. Anyway, Teresa brought it in one day and declared that it was meant for me. Dancing Queen. Wasn't that gorgeous? Very kind. This was 13 years before I reclaimed my power and my life by going dancing at Irish Murphy's and the casino. How prescient she was. Back then I rarely danced except at home with my girls. Be the queen of your own life in whatever capacity you can muster. Never, ever, ever, ever let the superficial, backstabbing bastards grind you down. Mama T has spoken, laughing my ass off. This, I still cherish it to this day. This is the painting that she gave to me. She just said it reminded her of my spirit and my wildness and my kind of opulent, almost drag nature in a way. And it's true, I am like that. And anyway, it was a beautiful gift and I still cherish it to this day. It hangs on my wall in the spare bedroom. For a long time it was in my actual bedroom, but it didn't fit when I put in the shelving for my shoes, so it got moved out. But I used to lie in bed and look at it and smile and think of Teresa and how she really presciently kind of recognised me as a dancing queen. Anyway, 15th of September 2017. Sophie is lying in the sun under the pond. And by the way, the other reason it's cherished is my greatest joy and delight is when my talented friends play, my musician songs, play songs for me, particularly meant for me. That is such a huge honour and a delight. And or when someone writes a song for me, although that hasn't happened except Jared wrote some songs for me, which was lovely. Or when they create art for me, which Jared's made many beautiful artistic things for me. It's a wonderful friend in that regard. Or, I particularly love it when artists gift me their artworks as a gift to me in honour of my spirit. That to me is one of the greatest honours, that along with a musician writing a song for me, because you're gifting me of your own heart and soul and creativity and the work you've poured into it and the energy you've poured into it. And that is my most favourite thing in this world, is when people gift me of their own talents from their own heart and soul. And why am I like this? Because when I was a child, whenever I did a painting or a picture or drawing or, wrote a beautiful story, my mother would just throw it in the bin. She absolutely treated me with contempt and disdain and dishonoured and crushed my little spirit, even as a very young child. So I learnt very quickly when I came home from school with a beautiful drawing or story that my teacher had obviously praised, so I knew it was good, to not go and show it to my mother or father. I would go 3 doors down to my friend Mrs. Robertson, Mrs. June Robertson, my best friend Lynn in the neighbourhood, my best friend's mother, who was like a second mother to me. In fact, she was a first mother, because she was a way better mother than my mother ever fucking was. Trust me on that one. But I would go to her and I'd go, "Oh, Mrs. Robertson, I've come from school and I've got this drawing. I want you to have it, or what do you think of it?" And she would look at it and she would praise so effusively, to the point that it was probably a little bit overkill, to be honest. Or she would put the painting. I did one time a painting of a waterfall with rocks. It was a very good painting, actually, I was about 7 when I did it. And she put it up on her fridge on the, on display. Lynn even got annoyed and joked, why is Tanya's artworks on display? Oh, because she's a wonderful artist, and I want to show appreciation of her gift. And then Lynn would just nod, We had a little bit of sibling rivalry at times, as if we were actual siblings, because I grew up in their home, pretty much grew up in their home, as much as, the Hoda makers down the road in my own home. So, and if I wrote a wonderful story, I would show it to June, and she'd say, may I keep this? And she would cherish and keep all my stories. She was a wonderful mother to me. And so I learnt at a very young age the difference between someone who treats you with contempt and disdain and abuse and like shit and discards everything wonderful you've ever made or done, and just treats you like you're a nobody and a nothing, as opposed to someone who treats you like you are the most wondrous gift in this world and worthy and cherished and adored, and takes your stories, your writings, or your drawings or paintings, or your dance, or however you manifest your creativity, and instead of trying to destroy it and delegitimize it and undermine it and make you feel less than, lifts you up and says, oh, my darling, you're just so awesome, you're just so fantastic, you bring so much joy to my life, and I so value and appreciate you. And it's a totally different energy, and it's actually life affirming and life saving to have people like that in our lives. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so I have little pictures on my walls that the neighbourhood kids have made for me that I cherish to this day. And sometimes when they visit, they go, oh, I remember I made that, Margot actually commented on it last time they came. She said, oh, they're pictures my girls did. I said, yes, and I cherish them. Art and literature and poetry and songs and dances and, all forms of creativity, and our kids should be treated with great honour and admiration and delight. Otherwise you just crush their little spirit, take away what little bit of joy and delight they have in their own being away. It's nasty to do that, really nasty to do that. I mean, sometimes when you're a parent and you've worked hard and you're tired and you're cranky, you might just flick something off, but you might do it once in a while, but don't make a habit of that. Don't destroy your children like that, because they'll be adults one day and they'll have the trauma issues that go with it, and a long, long memory for our souls. By the way, I kept all my kids' art until only a few years ago when Crystal said she had no interest in any of it, so together we burnt the lot. But I had kept some of it for 35 years, 36 years. And it was hard. It was hard to burn it all, actually. But this is a small house. I don't need to be storing things of people that have got no sentimentality towards it. It's just a waste of my time, my energy, and my psychic space. Freed me up for new blossomings to occur, and so they did with my jewellery journey. So there you go. It's good to let go of things sometimes and start fresh. So here we have a photo. Sophie is lying in the sun under the pond. This is the furthest she has strayed from the back door in 2.5 years. Lol, because she had a lot of anxiety and she was a very nervous pussycat, our little Sophie. So I was very happy that she was getting brave and finally coming out into the garden and really enjoying life, It's how it should be, even for pussycats. Where are you going, Miss Charlie? What are you up to now? Mum was getting hungry. She had 4 biscuits for breakfast, which was not good. Oh, you want a scratch? Okay, you can have a scratch. I scratch the Charlie when she wants a scratch. Otherwise, there's anarchy and chaos. Yes, I know. You is the boss, Charlie. You're the boss of this house. You're the boss of Mama T. Yes, you're a very good boss. Right. Mama needs the mouse. Come over here if you want scratches. I have to scratch you with my left hand because I need to use my right hand because I'm right-handed. Okay, I'll scratch you with my left hand anyway. Oh, she's so sweet. You're such a sweet little baby. I value and appreciate your creativity. Lots of poos, but anyway. No, I value and appreciate her sweetness. She's a wonderful bird. Come here. Come here and be a wonderful bird with Mama. Talk to the people and tell them how you're a wonderful birdie and that how you're very creative. Where is she? Can't quite see her. There she is. And how you're a lovely birdie. Yes, say hello to the birdie. Who's that birdie? Who's that bird running around with you? Tell me, who's that birdie num-num running around with you? You give me a kiss? No? No kisses? Alright, let's finish this video, baby. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted, baby bird. You're very distractible. Well, she is gorgeous. I went to buy kosher sacramental wine in Dan Murphy's as recommended by the Margaret Street Shul website. $15 to $20 a bottle, and I did not recognise the brand, so was not inspired to buy possibly unpalatable shit. It's been months since I had kiddush wine or challah. Challah is bread that you can make yourself, you know, the braided bread we have on the Sabbath, on the Shabbat. I guess with Rosh Hashanah coming in a few days, I felt like channeling my inner Jew. I better get busy. I could make some challah and just freeze it down. Then I've got it there ahead of time, am I right? But can I be bothered? Because I'm not that religious or observant anymore. But anyway, I was greatly bemused by the fact that they keep their Jewish kosher wines next to the Viking mead and German Glühwein. Someone in that store being a little bit sardonic and passive-aggressive, am I right? I laughed my ass off, but you'd have to be German and a Jew to get why that was funny. No one else would get it. But yes, I quipped to the staff member that I doubt Glühwein is made kosher unless they are making up for guilt. I almost died laughing at my own gallows humour. My Viking berserker bitch was tempted to buy some mead, but I bought some very, very cheap elixir of life instead, laughing my ass off. Something to curl my toes and obliterate my fatty liver. Death by design. Anyway, l'chaim to my beautiful Jew crew. May this new year, on the night of the 20th of September, bring a new flush of potential made manifest. Bring a new blush of great and true loves. Bring happiness, excitement, and most of all, peace. Amen. V'salam. Oh, dear goddess. And then I made a meme because I was feeling quite spiritual and religious that day. Shabbat Shalom. Sabbath peace. 15th of September 2016. I had another bad tummy upset tonight. I have Googled allergens to mustard seed, which I baked into my bread. Oh, bejesus. I'm certain it is the bread that made me sick, all the mustard seeds. So along with beetroot, another healthy food I need to avoid. Very tired today, only 5 hours sleep, but I kept busy remaking necklaces into boudoir decorations. Working with crystals and beads sure does take a long time. My bed is fully set up again. It was a lot of work getting it back how I like it. I'm happy and grateful that Jared was able to repair it. And now I can lie in Frida Kahlo-esque splendour again. All the decorations are back up. And, and so they remain to this day. I did take down those little glass candle holders though. They're in the spare room instead now. 15th of September 2014. At Crystal's place, we are both unwell, having a restful time with the bunnies after our big dinner at Red Rooster. 15th of September 2012. Haha. These were my dancing boots, babies. Some of you from the Brisbane music scene will remember me wearing those. I loved them. I loved them so much. Oh my goddess, I miss those boots. I really liked that skirt too. I don't know what happened to it in the end. Probably got too fat for it and gave it back to charity. But I loved those boots. Here's the rest of what I had on. Update, 15th of September 2022. I miss those boots, lol. I still miss them to this day. Although I can hardly walk in high heels anymore. Mama T has gone old and frail. Wah wah wee wah. But that fabulous bitch is making a comeback, healing my lungs, if not my tootsies, as we speak. Day 4 of mulling tea has dredged up lots of icky phlegm. I will persevere for 2 weeks, but I'm starting to feel a bit better, inspired by the kindness and generosity of my earth angels. I'm starting to feel quite tired now. We're nearly 2 hours in. Also, it's quite emotional going over the old traumas and the family bullshit, and it drains the fuck out of me. But don't worry, my beloved ones, this all ends on the 5th of October because I'll have completed the whole year, and we'll be making happy, splendid, magical, and maybe even loving memories from that point on. Don't know who with, could manifest, but I'll be focusing on, making a beautiful life for myself with beautiful memories to look back on in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, or God's forfend 30 years' time should I live so long. Let's make it together, all of us in our own individual lives, the beautiful lives we've always dreamed of, because we deserve that. Many of us really deserve to have that manifest. Loving partners and enough money that you're not struggling, and poetry and music and literature and art and so much love and connectivity and being included in a tribe and a family that adores you. Oh, Mama T, who's always on the outside looking in through thick double glass. Sometimes I do suffer a little bit with a little bit of jealousy. And I look at what I've missed out on. But it's okay. My time is coming, babies. 15th of September 2010. My darling Lynn brought me a special sprayer thingy and some chlorine so I can kill the yucky stuff on the pathways, and then the water spraying will be easier. She is so clever to think of that. I was too tired and it was too windy to spray today, so I weeded the back garden instead. Tonight I actually cooked chatzilim, which is a dish made out of eggplant where you slice the eggplant and then you salt it to get all the bitter juices out of it, and then you dip it in kind of a tempura, couldn't think of the word, and then you fry it up and then you layer it in a dish with pureed sort of cooked tomatoes and onions, but I can't have onions anymore because I'm allergic, but you have onions and garlic and this pureed tomato dish part of it. So you layer it, eggplant, tomato, eggplant, and then you bake it in the oven. Oh my God. It's Crystal's favourite dish too. It's one of Crystal's and my favourite dish. But it's very oily because you fried it in oil. It's quite oily and it's fattening and it's fucking delicious. It's a vegetarian dish too, so it's probably one of the few vegetarian dishes I know how to cook. I'm not very good at cooking, obviously. But anyway, and then I used to store it in jars and you could just treat it like a antipasto as well. Oh my God, yes. Crystal and I used to eat that till the cows come home. I might make it again actually. It's time. It's a good dish for Rosh Hashanah too. Anyway, that's Chatzilim, it's called in Israel. Crystal is in seventh heaven tonight. Crystal in seventh heaven is coming tonight to eat logs. It's her favourite dish. Oh, and now I want to cry. Never mind. Oh, and I planted out some... No, I should mind. I should mind very fucking much. But anyway. Ding! Oh, and I planted out some... Oh, it hurts. It's burning right down low in my gut. And my heart's racing. I swear to God, the grief's going to kill me one day. But anyway. Oh, and I planted out some capsicum and tomato seedlings. I think I will have an abundance of these if the possums don't get them or Bella doesn't chase the ball on my veggie gardens. Laughing out loud. Chatzilim. Oh, I already explained it to you, but I wrote it down here. Laid in a casserole dish with tomato, chili and garlic sauce, then baked for 30 minutes in the oven. It's Crystal's favourite dish from Israel. They call it poor man's caviar. It is vegetarian and tastes scrumptious, but it's hugely fattening, as I said, because of all the oil and frying. And how much are eggplants at the moment? They've been hideously expensive, but if I get some when they come into season cheaper, I might make it. 15th of September 2008. The Tanya has the post-party blues. Alcohol really affects my mood the next couple of days, lol. Yes, it does sometimes if I overindulge. Jared replied, could be worse. You could have the no party, no social life blues, which is a bit naughty of him, quite frankly, because I have invited him out many, many times over the years. I invited him to come to the Koala Tavern when I was dancing for Alter Ego's both occasions there, because he lives not far away in Mount Cotton. It was close enough he could have come down and had a couple of drinks, and he could have danced with me. He's not really into dancing much anymore. He used to be a wonderful dancer. Oh, that man could dance in the 90s. He had the most nifty, fast-moving feet I've ever seen on anyone. It was a particular dance in the 90s where you bounced your feet everywhere. Oh, he was an amazing dancer, but he won't dance with me. Oh, well, I suppose he doesn't want to give the impression that we're in love or something, because we never were. But you can dance with people you're not in love with. I do it every weekend for the love of all the gods. But anyway, he's weird, is what I'm saying about dancing. But he could have still come to the Koala Tavern and had a couple of drinks and hung out with me and then gone home, and where would have been the harm in that? No, he doesn't want to be part of my world, my world, my Brisbane music scene world. Doesn't want to participate and be seen with me in public like I'm some dirty little rag, am I right? It's what it boils down to. Anyway, that was a grinding sore for a while, but I let it go because he's always been introverted and like that. So, I'm not expecting someone to change who they are to maintain friendships or, whatever with me. But it hurt that he wouldn't do that. And then he complains here, oh, no party and no social life blues. But you've got to make the party happen. You either put on your own parties, which are hideously expensive to do these days, otherwise I'd be doing it, or you go out. You go out with your friends and you go dancing and listen to live bands and be part of that party. Like, sitting at home whinging about not having a life is actually your own stupid fault. Like, yes, we all have anxiety issues and trauma issues and we're introverts. Well, I'm an ambivert. I can be both extroverted and introverted depending on my mood. But, I have to push through my own fears and anxieties. Sometimes I get, even to this day, I go to the Brooklyn Standard and I'm a writhing mess. But no one knows because I hide it very fucking well. And I get my drink and I assume my position, which is my new spot near the stage, because I like to dance right beside the band, right in front of them, give all my energy into that, and I love it. And I assume my usual spot, as soon as it becomes possible without being too intrusive on the people that are already there. Sometimes I push in, though, a bit cheekily, to be honest. Well, they're drunk, they don't know, fuck it. But anyway, slowly turning into my mother, which is not good, people of Earth, But anyway, they all know in that club that that's where I like to be. So I just slowly move into it slowly with a bit of grace and decorum, if it's other people already there. There was an Asian lady dancing there when I arrived on Friday night, and she just gave me this really weird guarded look because she probably realised that I would be wanting to be in that spot, but I didn't take it over from her because she was dancing there happily, and, I'm not an asshole. Let her be happy. And so I danced beside Timmy's wife, and then gradually that other lady moved out. So I put my bag and my cardigan down, which I wanted to do from the very beginning, but I didn't want to intrude, Which just gave me this kind of hostile, weird look. But anyway, later on I went to move her glass. I didn't know it was her glass because it was just in the way of where I put my bag, and she practically fucking hissed at me and snarled, and I'm sorry, I didn't know it was her glass because she wasn't standing next to it. Anyway, she retrieved her glass, and I put my bag down. I just ignored her. I thought, no need to be hostile, just wanting to join in and have fun too. Anyway, I didn't take offence because, it's the club scene and you don't take offence at things. People were drunk, or they got their own anxieties, or they got their own trauma issues, or they just point blank don't like you, so they're going to be an arsehole no matter what you do. So you don't buy into the bullshit is what I'm saying. Just do your thing, dance your dance, zero fucks given, right? which is what I did. I began dancing and doing my thing, my performance art with my fan to all the lyrics and the songs. And then she got it. She kind of got it, why I was wanting that position. Then she realised that I'm actually kind of performing too. And then she nodded at me and smiled, and then she was cool with me, which was weird. Like, I'm sure I've seen her there before. But anyway. And then later on in the evening, about halfway through the gig, she moved away from the table completely and stood out in amongst the crowd, which, you know, I hope she didn't feel that I'd pushed her out, because that wasn't ever my intention, and we were harmonising side by side quite happily for a while there. But anyway, she moved away, and then a whole group of other regulars moved in, and then they're used to me doing my thing, that they're quite comfortable with me being my own version of wildness and freedom, and we all got on. We had a wonderful night. So you see, all that tension that was building, and I was deconstructing and building, it was unnecessary. It was like a fucking... Anyway, but I had a good night, don't get me wrong. I had a wonderful night, because I make my mind up when I go out that I'm going to have a wonderful night, because attitude is everything, and sometimes you just have to be brave and audacious and proactive and strong and powerful and whimsical and wild and joyous. And when people see you move through all those different phases, they fit in around you, and they also become wild and vivacious and joyous and carefree, and it builds a wonderful atmosphere in the club. And that's what I like to do, and that's why I go there. That's what I'm there for. And I have my own fucking parties sometimes. Sometimes the party's going on in my own head too. If the vibe's a little bit off, just create my own party. Fuck what anyone else thinks. Am I right? Life's too short. I'm too old. I'm too tired. I'm too conscious that, I'm running out of time to manifest my greatest, most joyous, most wondrous, most loving life. So I make it happen every weekend, even if sometimes I look a bit of a dickhead, or some people might not like me. I can't control what everyone thinks of me. You do you, I do me. Together we'll enjoy the vibe. That's all I have to say about that. To you all, my darlings, even the ones that don't particularly like me. Can't win them all, am I right? Anyway, copyright Tanya Desiree Aarons. Thus concludes today's readings of even date. I'm exhausted, but I'm happy and content, and I love you all on planet Earth, all of humanity. Stay safe, stay sane, hold your line, never ever let the bastards grind you down. Just be joyous, be your own best version, be creative, manifest your own creativity. If you've got a mother like mine that puts you down, take your art to someone who appreciates you. If you're a woman on your own like me, and you've got men in your life that are just, not there for you, that's okay. Find someone who does enjoy your company and delights in you and is happy to have you in their life. And same goes for men. I had 2 men approach me at the end of the night, early Saturday morning, that were both drunk and really fucking sleazy and predator. They were looking at me with rape eyes. It was just fucking awful. And I was ignoring both of them, abstemiously ignoring them, because I could see they were creepy. And I was a bit mean to them, said no, sat down, nope, don't want to be predated on by drunk men at the end of the night. You had all night to come and approach me and have a chat and get to know me and be a human being. Don't try and do the hook up when I'm tired at the end of the night. It's not going to go well for you, boys. Anyway, if they'd approached me in a nicer way without doing the whole rape eyes thing, I might have been quite happy to include them in my conversation I was having with Hayley, and because I'm not an asshole, actually. would have quite happy included both those men. Probably would have found interesting things out about them through the art of conversation. It might have been delightful. But no, they decided to be creepy, both of them. And when I said no, wouldn't take no for an answer. In fact, one of them wouldn't take no for an answer, even when the security guard, Richard, came over and told them to leave me alone. So my instincts, as usual, were on point. One even tried to follow me outside the club, which was a bit astonishing. But fortunately, I was talking to the band and pulled out my cigar, actually smoked my cigar. I said to my friends in the band, oh, I feel fucking a bit under fucking threat. I'm going to smoke my cigar, calm myself down. They all looked at me in astonishment because I don't normally smoke, and no one has ever seen me smoke in the club, outside the club before. But anyway, it's all good. I don't make a habit of that because I don't want to ever become addicted to smoking. That's why you don't see me smoke, because I don't normally do it. But anyway, it's all good, my darlings. Life goes on. My weird, quirky ways, including smoking the occasional cigar. Yes. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. And Charlie and I are going to go and sit in the garden. I've got to get something to eat. I was going to make soup, but I don't know if I have the patience to wait around standing over a stove boiling pumpkins and all that shit. I'll have to do it though, won't I? I'm being lazy. But I'll have to make something to eat, and it has to be instant food because I'm hungry now. So there you go. My inner Viking berserker has come out to play. She wants to feed, and she wants to feed now. So, love you all. Have a beautiful day. Remember what I said. Own your own creativity. Be with people who love and honour and respect you, and live your best life. Bye for now, my darlings.